Yo, it's your boy Zerk. Y'all gotta come look at this. We are witnessing a collision of two completely different types of schools of thought right here. It's like watching a car crash, but the cars are made out of baby oil and testosterone. On the left side, we got clavicular, which, by the way, is a terrible name. That sounds like a bone you break when you fall off a bicycle. Oh Lord, he shattered his clavicular. This kid looks like if AI generated a handsome man prompt but forgot to install a soul. He's 19 years old, but he looks like he's been divorced 3 times and pays alimony in Bitcoin. And on the right side, we got Coach Greg. Coach sounds like a parrot that swallowed a whistle and got kicked in the nuts. Every time he speaks, my dog starts barking at the TV. He is the Gilbert Gottfried of the fitness industry. I'm joking, don't come for me, Greg. So we got the Gen Z Terminator versus the Screaming Smurf. Let's look at the matchup. First, you got the kid. He says he's neurodivergent. Now, back in my day, we just called that being weird, but okay, we're gonna use the fancy words today. He says he's logical. He moves like a robot. He talks like he's reading terms and conditions. He's sitting there, 6'2", jawline sharp enough to cut a steak, talking about, I need to optimize my existence. Then you got Greg. Greg is vibrating. Greg looks like he just drank 4 pots of coffee and snorted a scoop of pre-workout. He's looking at this kid like, why are you like this? See, this is the problem with the internet. It brings people together who should never, ever be in the same room. Greg is old school. Greg is eat your vegetables, do your cardio, enjoy the journey. Greg is your drunk uncle at the barbecue who screams at you because you put the wrong kind of sauce on the ribs. And the kid? The kid represents the new generation, the I want it now generation. This mofo started taking steroids at 14 years old. 14! He said it was a logical decision. Logical? Let me tell you something about logic. There is nothing logical about being 14 years old with the testosterone levels of a silverback gorilla. That's wanting the cheat codes before you even learn how to play the game. Greg is trying to preach hard work and patience and longevity. And the kid is looking at him like, why work hard when I can just download the update? Talking about, I don't care if I die at 50 as long as I look good in the coffin. And that's the real beef here. It's about philosophy. Greg believes life is a marathon. You run, you sweat, you suffer, and hopefully you live to be 100. The kid believes life is a sprint. You take the rocket fuel, you explode, you look pretty, and you crash and burn. Because look at the kid's face. He's handsome, right? Objectively. He's treating his body like a Honda Civic he's trying to mod out for a drag race. If I add this spoiler, I get +5 attraction from females. And Greg? Greg is rich. Greg is successful. So who's winning? I don't know. Let's get into the details because this rabbit hole goes deep. We talking about surgery, we talking about makeup, we talking about spending $100,000 to break your legs. This kid, Clavicular, again, sounds like a vampire from Twilight. Imagine you get into a bar fight with this dude. He grabs you by the collar, he lifts you up, and then he asks you, bro, is my foundation smudging? Be honest. Bro, how you gonna be the toughest guy in the room and the prettiest girl in the room at the same time? Women don't know whether to sleep with him or ask him for makeup tips. And he's sitting there, I need to maximize my looks at all costs. Bro, you already won. You're tall and you have muscles. That's it. That's the lottery. But see, that's the logic again. He thinks if he looks 1% better, his life will be 1% better. He's treating life like a math equation. We got to talk about the legs. This kid, Clavicular, Captain Steroid, the makeup artist, he is 6'2". Do you know how many men would kill to be 6'2"? That is the golden ticket. That is, I can reach the top shelf without a stool height. That is, I can see the stage at the concert behind the fat lady height. If you are 6'2", you have won the genetic lottery. But not this kid. Oh no. Mr. Logic says it's not enough. He wants to get limb lengthening surgery. For those of y'all who don't know what that is, it's exactly what it sounds like. You pay a doctor, a licensed medical professional $100,000 to break your legs. They saw your femur in half, put some metal rods in there, and slowly stretch you out like a medieval torture rack. He wants to go from 6'2" to 6'6". Why? He says, logically, being 6'6" makes you a god. Bro, being 6'6" doesn't make you a god. It makes you uncomfortable on airplanes. It makes you hit your head on door frames. This mofo says he did the math. He said, studies show that for every inch of height, you make an extra $30,000 a year. Who is doing this math? Is there a height tax bracket I don't know about? You think you walk into a job interview, the boss pulls out a tape measure and goes, well, Bob, your resume is trash, but damn, you're tall. Here's a CEO position. If height equaled money, the NBA would be the only rich people on earth. Jeff Bezos is 5'7". Mark Zuckerberg is 5'0". The people running the world are usually little angry dudes with Napoleon complexes. This kid thinks he's gonna break his legs, spend a year in a wheelchair, learn to walk again like a baby giraffe, and then checks are just gonna start falling from the sky? And let's keep it 100. He's doing this for the women. He thinks if he's 6'6", the women will flock to him. Let me tell you something about women. They like tall guys, sure, but you know what they don't like? Frankenstein. They don't like a dude who walks with a limp because he paid a doctor to shatter his shins. If you are weird at 6'2", guess what you are at 6'6"? A giant weirdo. You're just a bigger target for bullying. And think about the recovery. You got to spend a year in bed. A year while your bones grow back. You know what happens when you lay in bed for a year? You lose all the muscles you took the steroids for. So now, you're tall, skinny, weak, and broke. Congratulations, you played yourself. This is what happens when you treat real life like a video game character creator. He's sliding the height bar all the way to the right, but he forgot he has to actually live in the avatar. On one side, you got Greg. He represents the grind set. He believes you gotta suffer. If you ain't miserable, you ain't working hard enough. And on the other side, you got the kid, Clavicular. He represents the cheat code. He don't want to work. He wants the surgery. He wants the needle. He wants to break his legs to be tall and inject paint into his face to be handsome. He thinks if he just modifies the avatar enough, the game becomes fun, but he's missing the point. If you skip the tutorial, if you skip the grind, you don't appreciate the level up. He's building a mansion, but there's no furniture in it. And can we talk about this looks maxing community for a second? Because this shit is weird as hell. You got thousands of straight men sitting in Discord servers analyzing other men's faces. Oh, bro, nice canthal tilt. Bro, your jawline is recessed by 2 millimeters. Bro, you got negative hunter eyes. If I walk up to my homeboy and say, damn, nice cheekbones, you really mogging today, I expect to get punched in the face. These dudes are so obsessed with attracting females that they spend all their time looking at dudes. So what's the lesson here? Real life ain't about being the 99th percentile. It ain't about being 6'6". It's about being able to walk down the street without your knees exploding and being able to talk to a woman without wondering if your mascara's running. So I'm sticking to the basics. I'm gonna eat a sandwich, I'm gonna do a couple of push-ups, and I'm gonna keep my original shins. I'm out. Y'all stay safe, and for the love of God, stop breaking your legs for clout.